to get up here and give my 2 cents about Six the Goddess. I watched her video and it really was interesting to watch her perform for 47 minutes over a 10-minute clip. I mean, your girl was triggered. She was very triggered. She was stopping the video every 2 seconds to go in on biracial, specifically with white mothers. I find the thing to be comical and just an entertaining performance overall. Tamika really has these girls like in shambles. She has these girls in shambles, okay, trying to prove that this woman is not pretty, nor does she hold privilege. But in my opinion, even this reaction, this big, big dramatic reaction that Tamika is getting is a privilege in itself. Because not only did she go viral, but she continues to be the talk of the town. And that's something that cannot be denied. Okay? Whether it be positive or not, still the talk of the town, honey. Me personally, I could never feel so strongly about something that I'm going to be talking about it for a week straight. It's just not going to happen. Unless it's something that's actually serious or something that's genuinely important to me. And Six the Goddess in her video, I'm not putting in any clips because I just want to come give my thoughts and opinions. Like Gigi, shout out to Golden Goddess. She made a video on it. So if you want to go check out her video and see some of the clips that were put in there, I'm just going to verbally tell you some of the things that she said and then give you my opinion on it, right? She said in her video that she really did not care. A 47-minute video is not giving I don't care. 47-minute video is not giving I'm too busy for this. It's not giving any of that. Pausing the video literally every 2 minutes definitely is giving care. And I'm just like, look, everyone is allowed to have their opinions, right? But let's not lie, right? If I'm going to give my opinion on something, because I know when I'm triggered, everybody has triggers. This is something that I really, really dislike as human beings that we sometimes tend to do is when we are triggered by something, we will sit there and be like, I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, you do. You wouldn't be triggered by it. You cannot help. Actually, it's the opposite. You literally cannot help but care because this is something that triggers you and probably something that, you probably got to work through or possibly stay away from. Or the third option, accept that you're triggered by it and be honest about it. Like, yeah, bitch, I give all the fucks. Like, I really care. And that's why I'm making this video. Type of thing. Like I said, I get triggered by certain things. And like I said in my Tamika video, Tamika did not say anything that has warranted this week-long reaction, to be honest. Like, and if y'all genuinely believe that she's not pretty, wouldn't you just laugh at her and go? I mean, Six the Goddess is gorgeous, right? There's a lot of gorgeous black women that will be literally triggered by certain words, like the word light skin, light eyes, loose curly hair. Some of those things, believe it or not, are triggers. As a biracial woman, I have my own triggers. For instance, when people tend to talk shit about white mothers, yes, that triggers me, as it should, because that's like near and dear to my heart. Like that's a huge part of my experience. But the thing is, I've actually worked through my triggers, so I actually know why it triggers me. So I'm a lot better able at handling those triggers versus like, oh my God, like reacting to a video of someone like talking shit about biracials, like in our white moms or whatever. and like pausing the video every 5 seconds and then just like saying hateful things about the person, because that's really not doing anything. That's really not doing anything other than making racial relations worse, in my opinion. Like, whatever, we can be petty, we can say our little jokes or whatever. And, I could be petty, I could be real petty and say goofy stuff, right? And I'm pretty sure that I will at some point in time. But this video in particular really didn't, trigger me too bad. I think that Six the Goddess is definitely a hypocrite, just like a lot of women that share her opinion. They're very much hypocritical because they will go in on biracials with white mothers, and then they will bring up other biracials who happen to not have white mothers. So they really don't care if you're a biracial that has a white mom. They really don't. If you look like a biracial that has a white mom, they're coming for you. She brought up Sweetie. Sweetie doesn't have a white mom. Sweetie's mama is Asian. And she brings up the white mom thing, and she was like, well, biracials with white moms are basically like, they think like white women, essentially, right? Which, that's not true. But hey, even if it was, is it any of your business? No. And if you don't want nothing to do with them, why do you care, right? Because I never thought about that ever. Like, when it came to any like racial group of people, because there's several different mixes. It's not just the black and white mix, right? I've never looked at someone who is a Blasian with an Asian mom and been like, well, she has an Asian mentality, because ew, like, I just don't want to live my life like that. But that's me personally. Anyways, she brings up Sweetie, and then she also brings up the Kardashians, which everybody should know. The Kardashians are not white women. Those women are literally mixed. They're mixed with white, but they're not white women. And they've never been white women. They're literally Armenian and white mix. So I don't know why she would even bring up Sweetie and her mama, or the Kardashians, who are also not white women. But at the end of the day, it just shows the hypocrisy. It's not about them having white mothers. It's about them being mixed in general, and her overall bias against mixed women specifically, because they never bring up the men. They never bring up the men. They're totally fine with the men. They're totally fine with accepting the men, um, because they have trauma bonded with mixed race men. Black women and mixed race men have both trauma bonded with each other. The black boys made fun of the black girls, and the black boys made fun of the mixed men, and they have trauma bonded ever since then. But they're not ready for that conversation. Neither group, in my opinion, is ready for that conversation. But I just wanted to put that out there, because if you notice why they never ever bring up the men, it's not because it's just like some women's issue. Because when they say biracials with white mothers, that is not just for the women. Okay? That's not a gender thing. Okay, that's just the biracial with the white mom thing. And they really don't even care about that. It's just the biracial with the anything but black mom kind of thing. So, with that being said, something else she said in her video, where she was talking about Sweetie, and how Sweetie basically believes that because she's mixed race that she deserves pretty privilege. I feel like everyone took that video of Sweetie completely out of context. I don't think Sweetie was talking about like the audience punishing her. I actually believe that Sweetie was talking about the people behind the scenes, the people that we will never get to see or really know the position of power that they hold, punishing her, because the people themselves cannot punish her. But the people behind the scenes can most definitely punish her, blackball her, stop her bag, whatever the case may be, right? Because people have been talking shit about Sweetie since the beginning of her career. They have been saying that she was lame since the beginning of her career. And Sweetie just kept on going, right? So it couldn't be the audience that she's talking about. It could not be, you know, the normal man that she's talking about. I genuinely believe that when Sweetie was talking about how she was being punished, I believe that she was talking about people behind the scenes. But again, all of these things are up for interpretation because what she said was very fucking vague. And that's my next point. It's the same thing with Tamika. Tamika said that she was in a room with some women, and there was one man, and the man was giving her attention, and she felt like the women were side eyeing her for that said thing, right? She never said it was a bunch of black women. She said women in general. So I don't know why people will take something when someone gives a vague story, so they're not giving every little single detail, right? Like they should, because in my opinion, I don't think people should be out here telling vague stories. I like to have details. I want to know everything, but that's just me. But they give a vague story, and it says a lot about the people themselves that will take a vague story and what they choose to fill in the blanks with. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, right? Because I think everyone's guilty of doing this, right? Sometimes you have to ask yourself, is this the truth of what's actually going on, or am I just triggered? And I think for Six the Goddess and a lot of other black women, you have to start asking yourself that, because if it is not a direct shot, you will never look good filling in the blanks with colorism. And the thing is, just because colorism, racism, featureism, texturism, all the isms in the world exist, does not mean that people with those said features are not going to celebrate their features. They are allowed to celebrate their features. They're allowed to celebrate the way that they look publicly, privately, does not matter. With each other, it does not matter. Just because all the isms in the world exist does not mean that these groups of people cannot like the way that they look. That is absolutely ridiculous, okay? Because they have the same thing going on in the white community, and blonde hair, blue eyed people, they're not letting that stop them from celebrating the way that they look. Yeah, people may roll their eyes, but they're allowed to, okay? They're allowed to. And if white women came out in droves and was like, oh, well, that's like featureism, because that could count as featureism for them, they know how they would look, right? So if you do not want to be called jealous and you're genuinely not jealous, stop acting like it. Because at the end of the day, at this point, it really doesn't matter if you are or if you aren't. It's about what you're acting like, right? Stop filling in the blanks with colorism. Okay, stop filling in the blanks with racism. Stop getting mad at people for celebrating how they look. It's just unrealistic to think that you're going to build this world or live in this world because racism, colorism, featureism, texturism exists. And these groups of people are never going to like the way that they look. They're never going to celebrate the way that they look. Like, it's one thing to talk about those things because they're very true things, right? It's one thing to talk about those things um, and try to not participate in those things, right? But it's a whole nother thing to attack the people that hold those things. They cannot help that. And everybody should practice self love. Um, and I had one woman in the comment section. She was also light skinned. She was talking about how she loves herself, but she doesn't like include her skin into that. And I was like, girl, that's you. Just because colorism exists doesn't mean that someone can't like that they have golden skin or they can't like the hue of their skin. Just because you feel like that skin tone is already celebrated enough, it's not about everybody else. It's about yourself when you're practicing self love. It is not about everybody else. It just is what it is at the end of the day. If a white person wanted to celebrate having pale skin, that does not bother me. It doesn't bother me. And whiteness is celebrated above everything else. That I have seen blonde women brag about their hair, their eye color, their pale skin, whatever, their little country lifestyle, whatever. That does not bother me. That is no threat. to me. Okay? And I would never, ever be down in the comment section with a pitchfork. Okay? Because you want to know why? That's going to make me look bad at the end of the day. Look, that's not my forte. What people want to celebrate and what they don't. That is an individual's choice. Me protesting against that is not going to change the fact that people find certain features to be pretty. I'm not going to go out of my way to tell people to stop finding blonde women attractive. I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen. Like, what? That wouldn't make any sense. And it would make me look bad at the end of the day. Because I want people to do whatever they want to do. As long as it's not hurting me, as long as you're not killing anybody, I genuinely don't care. If that is what you like, that is what you like. That's not my business. And stop pretending like you have absolutely no power in the situation. Like you just have to sit there and watch people love something that doesn't look like you. Go where you are loved. But because we're not going to sit here and pretend like there aren't groups of people that love melanated skin and love brown eyes and love black women, because they do. There are many gorgeous, gorgeous black women, right? Six the Goddess is one of them. But you are insecure. You're very, very insecure. Because this shouldn't even bother you, to be honest. I don't even share all the same features that Tamika has. That shit doesn't bother me. I don't have blue eyes. I don't care. It does not bother me. But again, that I'm very secure in who I am. So somebody else being secure in who they are will never ever bother me, right? Six the Goddess, gorgeous woman. It's not like I'm insecure about how she looks. No. Here's a beautiful picture of her right here. It doesn't bother me, and it shouldn't bother anybody at this point. Um, I also wanted to say that in her video, she also brought up that she brought up light skinned women and how they were so different than biracial women. Okay, cool, right? Nothing inherently wrong with that. But what I do find funny is, the further she went on to talk about light skinned women, she was basically calling y'all like the token light skinned women. And that's never a good thing, honey. It's never a good thing. And it was the same thing with some of the biracials. Like, she was like, hey, this type of biracial bad, this type of biracial good. We might fuck with you if you're this type. Again, token biracial. I don't want to be in any space, to be honest. I really don't want to be in any space. Um, or I really don't need to be a part of any space where I am the token, to be honest. I'm going to be real. And Six the Goddess is brown skin. Most of the black community is brown skin. And I kind of find it really funny that brown skins just be out here cutting the fuck up. They be out here cutting the fuck up. And then when shit gets hot, they want to call on the dark skins. The dark skins aren't even doing anything. They're really not even low key a part of this conversation. It's the brown skins starting all this shit. And then when shit gets heavy, they're going to call in the dark skins to look like the aggressor. So, dark skinned people, y'all really need to check y'all's allies. Okay? Y'all are so worried about the light skins and the white people when it's really the motherfucker that's got you in their back pocket, which is the safe brown. Which is the safe brown. Okay? They be starting so much shit, talking all that shit. They be getting offended for you over some shit that you don't even care about. And then they call on you to come and fight with them. Low-key fight for them. Low-key fight for them because they're damn near invisible. And they use that to their benefit. So it's real weird. And y'all should definitely look into that. Because I fear your worst enemy is your ally. But, anyways, I'd like to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And until next time.